March 16th, 2024, a day that has been in the making for nearly 5 years. Rhode Island FC plays its first match in franchise history, hosting New Mexico alongside former USL MVP Jamie Watson. Michael Watrain, great to have you with us, and you talk about that voyage to the USL. December 2019, the team was announced. Last year, the coach was announced, and in November, the first player, and what an exciting time it is today.
It's a monumental day for this club, and so many people have poured into this for years without a product on the field that they can point to. Well, that changes today. It's 90 minutes on the field, but it's a culmination of years of hard work for so many people. This is going to be a spectacle to enjoy, and we cannot wait to see it unfold over the next 90 minutes.
RIFC made quite the splash, getting the reigning Player of the Year and Golden Boot winner Albert Dikwa, who had 3 braces in his final 9 matches of last year.
And what a signal of intent to go out and get the Golden Boot winner, the Player of the Year last year in the USL Championship, a player who can score goals in a plethora of ways. He arrives into the box at the right time, can score with his right foot, his left foot, or with his head. He's always a threat.
New Mexico has already played a match this season, and what a performance it was against the 2023 USL Players' Shield winners, Pittsburgh, a 1-0 win.
Well, you've got Micheletto to Reyes, on to Hurst. It's a goal straight from the training ground that Eric Quill will love. I love Greg Hurst up front, a player that always looks to try to get in behind and be a threat for New Mexico.
Greg Hurst started his career with Phoenix at 6 goals and 31 appearances. Perhaps he's found a home for Eric Quill and this New Mexico United group as he scored in the season opener. Rhode Island is trying to snap a 3-match losing skid by expansion teams in the USL Championship and become the first expansion team to win since 2018. Does New Mexico spoil the opening day for Rhode Island FC? The answer to that question comes next.
Hey Providence, we're Breeze Airways, and we offer non-stop flights from Rhode Island's T.F. Green International Airport. We're redefining what it means to fly up front. This one's for you. Introducing Breeze Ascent, the newest, nicest way to fly. It's seriously comfortable, satisfying, and affordable. Book today at flybreeze.com and experience the nicest way to travel. Breeze Airways, seriously nice.
What does purpose look like? Whatever your purpose, we're here to help. Centerville Bank. Progress on purpose.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Did I tell you about last weekend?
No.
We promised our youngest a real vacation next year. Honestly, I was worried about the money. I knew if that money was in our checking account, we would spend it.
So what did you do?
Centerville Bank helped me open an account just for this, because if I put the money in there on purpose, I won't touch it.
What does it look like when your bank account has purpose? Open an account at Centerville Bank today. Centerville Bank, progress on purpose.
Welcome back to Burns Stadium. Rhode Island FC moments away from the first match in franchise history, playing host to a New Mexico side who beat Pittsburgh last week 1-0. And the first ever starting 11 for Rhode Island looks like this. Pretty good when you have Albert Dikwa up top and Koke Vegas in goal.
Well, you're solid at the back, you're solid up top, but in the middle of the park where there's 5 at times in the midfield, that's where this game can be won or lost for Rhode Island. Look for Noah Fuson on the right side to try to go and join Dikwa in the attack. A really skillful 1v1 player. And Brito underneath can also go and join Dikwa to form a formidable front 3.
The New Mexico starting 11 looks like this here tonight. Alex Tambakis has been in this league for a long time, closing in on the all-time record for saves in a career. Two great goalkeepers tonight.
It really is. It'll be a defensive battle for sure. At times, this can be three in the back, but you also have Flanagan who can tuck back in. Zico Bailey has some experience playing as well, so defensively, he'll track back. He'll be a part of the group that'll help defend. Marco Micheletto in the middle, though. He is the one that has the keys to this attack. He will run the show for New Mexico United.
Pre-match flyover, all the pre-match festivities. That first historic picture for an organization that gets started here in 2024 with roots dating back to the 1800s in the Northeast. And a new stadium will open next year. This will be the stadium this year here at Burns Stadium as they continue to build that nearly 10,000 seat stadium at Tidewater Landing, opening in 2025. Michael Watring, Jamie Watson, our entire crew, elated to have you on board here today. Hope that you can come in, get cozy, stay a while with us. Cano Smith told us this week that he wants to leave this fan base craving more. And it all starts with match number 1.
He wants an entertaining, attacking style of football to be represented of his team. And so with that, all the emotions of the first game, everything will be about how quickly can you get started, how quickly can you get these fans who are temporarily seated up on their feet, celebrating, cheering, and making a memory. This is a big day. A lot of years of culminating hard work lead to this very moment right here. Congratulations, Rhode Island FC, for achieving the dream and making this a reality.
Waiting for that initial whistle to kick off franchise history for Rhode Island FC. Donning the blues today, New Mexico in the yellows. History is made in Rhode Island. Rhode Island FC's first ever match in club history is underway against New Mexico. Well, let's see how this match turns out. It's always interesting with an expansion team because Cano Smith told us a little bit of the dynamic that they're dealing with within this group, because one of the disadvantages that this team has is it's a complete fresh start for them. You don't have that basis within the group. You're bringing in players from around the league, around colleges as well. And how does that build up for this team here in match number 1? Ball bouncing around, and New Mexico seeing a lot of the possession here at the outset of this one. How much of an advantage do you see it that New Mexico already has a full match underneath its belt, having played Pittsburgh and won that match? Yeah, they faced a very good Pittsburgh team opening day, and they were able to get a 1-0 win at home. So for them, they've already had a little bit of the adversity they've had to face against a team that was the Player Shield winner last year. And then you start to go, okay, well now all of a sudden you got to go into a new type of adversity, a different environment, a club's first ever match. It's difficult. It's one that some of these players will probably never face again in their career, but can you go out and can you try to get the first attack? Can you try to be able to absorb the pressure when Rhode Island start to get their first foray forward? There's a lot of uncertainty and not much you can really say to either sets of teams because it is such a one-off, other than you're here for a reason. Don't worry about the pomp and circumstance that go around this. Play the game that you've been playing since you were a little kid and go out and enjoy the moment. Try to get a result because you'll enjoy it a lot more that way. Here is this first attack coming for Rhode Island. It's Turnbull finding space. Turnbull's shot rejected right back in his direction. Now a flick in over everybody.
Going too soon, that's fine.
He's fine the backside, but tapped out of play, and a goal kick coming. Rhode Island's injury report looks like this. They won't be at full strength to begin this season. Amos Shapiro-Thompson out, as well as J.J. Williams, who was dynamic last year with 12 goals and 9 assists for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, J.J. Williams would be a big loss. That'll be a player that fans will fall in love with quickly. His electric style in the final third can create goals for himself and for others. So that's a big loss. But You've also got Albert Diko up there. He'll be more than capable of leading the line, trying to pin back the center backs and being able to really be a threat constantly in behind tonight.
Expansion teams have had quite a bit of bad luck in recent history in the USL Championship, winless in their last 11 opening matches. Last time an expansion team won, you have to go back to 2018. Both Las Vegas and Atlanta United 2 won their openers. Tight passing in those windows. Turnbull decides to fly it across, but it goes behind the net and out for another goal kick. New Mexico on the other side. They won their final 3 matches of 2023 to sneak into the postseason as the number 8 seed. Battled against Sacramento. Eventually lost 1-0 in the Western quarterfinals. Turnbull tries to make that turn, unable to do so. But we'll get a throw here. 26-year-old, played collegiately at Stony Brook. Plenty of players on this roster with Northeastern ties. Yao. Turnbull once more. Tries to make the pass, and Gloucester sends it away. Gloucester down. His first season with the organization. Spent the last 2 years in MLS Next Pro. With NYCFC 2 and Atlanta United 2. Turnbull tosses into the box. Fuson wheels it back. And a reset. Good possession here, though, from RIFC. This pass does find Fuson. Nifty twirling. Maintains possession, but is called for a foul. One of the young guns on this roster, Noah Fuson, had 10 goals in each season in MLS Next Pro the last 2 years for Columbus Crew. A championship in 2022 and the runners-up in 2023. So he knows all about winning, which was one of the topics that Kano Smith talked to us about.
As a key component to that, one of his teammates is across the field today, and Marco Micoletta. Those two were key components of the midfield for Crew too, as they made their unprecedented run, back-to-back finals. Greg Hurst has a shot if he wants. Didn't want to take that one off the chest.
Did to play it wide. Now it's Harris, coming over from Tampa Bay this season for New Mexico. Gloucester gets it back. Reyes. Flanagan might have been off, allows it to go. Reyes looking for Hurst. Here's a second chance. Micheletto, the aforementioned former Crew 2 player, sizzles one wide right.
Really, really smart from Flanagan to let it go. He was in an offside position, but he understood that if he stood still and didn't make a play on the ball, he could let it go, and aforementioned shot from Micheletto will go wide, but that's just really smart and astute in that moment from Flanagan.
Foul whistled. Zico Bailey, the guilty party this time. Hey fans, welcome to the 2024 USL kickoff presented by Terminex. Throughout the month of March, the USL will be kicking off across the country. Join us for all the action on ESPN and CBS Sports platforms. Turnbull feathers one through. And it's pushed out of play. for a corner kick here for Rhode Island. And the first set piece coming up for Cano Smith's group. Left-footed boomerang coming in. It slides through. Tambakis makes a mess of it initially. And it comes back out wide right. Slung right back through in the high header. Sails over everything. Intended target that time was Nodarse. But a pretty good-looking opening opportunity for Rhode Island. Flanagan trying to take Turnbull on here. Has the balance to hold on to it. Reyes circles the ball in. Sent right back to where it came from. Gloucester goes down to take it away. Bailey nutmegs the man. An excellent slide tackle there by Ibarra, former Riverhound. Bailey in the backside. Nicoletto gives chase. Turnbull keeps it in play. Clears it back towards midfield. Foul whistled on Albert Dikwa. Takes out Seymour along the sideline.
Yeah, just a little bit of contact as Dikwa is trying to get around Seymour, who's established position. Clever from the captain to be able to get into the path of Dikwa and win a foul.
Just a shade over 10 minutes into this match. Scoreless so far. Flanagan trying to change that. Flanagan, excellent shot block that time around. It's Grant Stoneman, Koke Vegas' teammate with San Diego Loyal the last couple seasons.
Well, this is really good for New Mexico United, and Grant Stoneman comes over, and that is such a vital intervention at the right moment to make that tackle inside the box. If Stoneman is even a half step late, Flanagan's able to get that effort on target, and it could very well be 1-0 New Mexico.
Leads to a corner here from New Mexico United. Flanagan twists this one out of play. What have you seen from Rhode Island here through the first 11 and a half minutes?
I think anytime they've gone forward, Dikwa has been one of the players that's been a catalyst for any success going forward. I think right now there's a lot of emotions that are in this match, right? And understandably so. So it's looked a little bit disjointed at times and probably hasn't been as fluid as Cano Smith would like. But having said that, they're also playing against a very good team in New Mexico United. So can they make sure that they don't get too spread apart, make too big of gaps, and start to slowly implement their style of play, which will still be evolving as they're only 12 minutes into existence. But little moments like that, good individual skill from Noah Fuson. Stark contrast in the conversation in each year of our referee, Jeremy Shear. Dikwa wants a yellow. Maples is saying, "Ah, come on, pal, it was just an innocuous foul in midfield." This is a lovely bit of skill from Fuson. Whoop. Goes by, and we'll put it this way. If the yellow card is brandished in that moment, you wouldn't complain. If he doesn't brandish it, you'll say, okay, he was probably feeling lenient in that moment, but Maples will have to be cautious with his next late challenge.
A pair of former MLS Next Pro players. Maples played with Dynamo too. Brito touches it along. Turnbull throws it through the middle. Excellent move from Fuson. Nicoletto, his former Crew teammate, fell down and blocked it. And then Fuson takes both of his paws and throws down the New Mexico United player. And it's Turnbull that goes to the surface here. Certainly one of the talking points for Rhode Island. There's been so much buildup, such a long window of time just to get the organization, the club, to this day. This is the start of a long journey for the season. It's a 7-month campaign. This one match does not define who this team is as much as some people may think that it will. They play 3 of their first 5 matches at home this season. There are a lot of opportunities for this group to continue to get better. And the roster makeup is something that you have to look at. There's the experience of players like Dikwa and Vegas. There's the youth of players like Fuson and company. How will this group mesh throughout this season? Cano Smith said that culture might be a term that's overused a little bit in sports these days, but believes that you have to spend time and focus on building a unit, building a team that's willing to do some of the dirty work. Reyes, Flanagan, flags up. Harris was the target. Slipped to the ground to the pleasure of the fans.
To your point a moment ago about this club getting off the ground and being 15 minutes into their existence, but in reality, it's been well over 4 years. Cano Smith just celebrated 1 year on the job, hired back on March 8th of 2023. So a lot of the time was spent in the office watching tape on players, watching games of players and figuring out who we wanted to try to get, but then obviously sitting on your hands at times because players were in season. So there's so much that's gone into this, and this club is still got so many more levels to achieve. Being here is a big one, but think about Tidewater Landing in Pawtucket being the stadium just around the corner next year. This club is certainly going to be achieving new heights month after month, year after year. And this is a big celebration and a culmination of that. But again, we'll count the same as a game in the middle of the summers, right? So you got to make sure as a player, let everybody else enjoy all the hard work, but you've got to get it done and try to get 3 points against a very difficult opponent. And hopefully you do it in a way that wants to bring more and more fans back with so many bonuses on the horizon I just mentioned.
The good news for Rhode Island supporters is since 2019, when 7 teams joined the league that year, 5 of the last 11 expansion groups have made the postseason. It's an excellent run here. Brito slings it back. Turnbull whips it across. Dikwa was the closest man to it, and it just did miss that left boot.
Turnbull has been ever present. This time Brito was the one running in behind, and Turnbull was the benefactor. He's trying to play that across to Dikwa. Doesn't miss by much, and Dikwa does what any good center forward does. He likes to stay between the post. Doesn't need to go out wide, doesn't need to be too far back. He's got 9 other field players behind him that are trying to do the hard work for somebody to apply the finish to, and that's maybe why he had 20 goals and 0 assists last season.
Son called for the foul. 24-year-old native of Los Angeles. Nicoletto, quick restart. Was looking for Hurst. And now Hurst comes on to it after a giveaway. Hurst gets it back. The back line strong again for Rhode Island. Nicoletto to nobody in particular. You played throughout your career with several different teams, several different levels. How is that experience coming in when you have new players on a year-over-year basis, understanding what the expectation is with the group?
I was a part of Real Salt Lake in 2005 as an expansion team, and Orlando City in 2011. Saw Minnesota United, Nashville SC have their expansion from as a broadcaster. I mean, these moments are so few far in between that it's hard to put into words and articulate what the actual feelings and emotions are like in that moment, because you've been around the front office, you've been around people in the club, and you understand how hard people have worked. And so there is an extra element of pressure that is undoubtedly on your shoulders as a player of this RIFC new team. So can you make sure and go out? One of the best things I ever heard from a manager, Adrian Heath, said, go out and play as if you would if any one of those fans or members of the front office got the opportunity for one time to wear the jersey. So if I'm Cano Smith, one of the last words I'm saying to the players is there are people who've dedicated themselves for years on end to make this day happen for you. If they could be next to you, how would they work? How would they run? What kind of effort would they put into this? And you need to match that today.
Excellent off of the throw in here, but followed up by Vegas.
And to that point, I think we've seen that. I think that there is effervescence in the way that Rhode Island is approaching this match. Now they just need to find that little bit of quality in the final third. There's not much between the two teams so far. Nobody's made any real glaring mistakes. We had the one tackle from Stoneman in the box that diverted an opportunity. But other than that, this game's there. The opportunities will come. Just have to be ready to take them when they do.
20th minute of play in the opening match for Rhode Island here at Burns Stadium. Scoreless so far between Rhode Island and New Mexico. Michael Watrang, Jamie Watson, our entire crew. Great to have you on board for this match here this afternoon. Each side officially with one shot. Neither side with a shot on target thus far. And a foul given. It's Flanagan guilty this time around. And a free kick coming for Rhode Island. Ibarra will have the duties of serving this one up. Ibarra strikes it. Tambakis coming out. Sure-handed catch from the veteran goalkeeper. Now in his 14th season as a professional. Might have taken some contact to the head there.
Tambakis comes out. It's going to be Karifa Yao who meets Tambakis, and oh, that's a tough one. That's the head of Yao that meets the head of Tambakis. But Tambakis has got his eyes on the ball, and Yao does as well, to be fair, but it was a nasty collision between the two. I don't think anything intent with distasteful intent. I think it was just one of those challenges where you go up and it's two players that go in. And unfortunately, the result is a head-to-head collision.
Temperatures hovering in the 50s. Today here at Burns Stadium. There is Cano Smith, first assistant at Birmingham Legion prior to his stop here. Tasked with the duties of getting this club off the ground. I don't know how many times he said win or winning in our conversation the other day, but it was evident to us that this is not a ease into it kind of thing. It's all about winning, and Eric Quill led his team to a win last week.
Kicked in the head or something?
Week 1 USL Championship Coach of the Week.
must have gotten kicked in the head or something. This is nuts.
After a brief pause, Tambakis ready to put the ball back into play. Reyes. Ball behind his normal position, and it's a giveaway. Fuson was trying to win it, but he gets called for the foul.
Fuson's got to be careful. He's already had about 3 fouls called on him. If our referee, Jeremy Shearer, decides that there's too many, you can be booked for persistent infringement. Hasn't given the indication yet.
Lost her.
Oh,
High boot that side from Mark Ibarra. Jeremy Shearer does not pull anything out of his pocket.
he got fucking rocked.
Nicoletto drops it back. Ibarra. Brito with space. Brito sends it wide. Turnbull. Another giveaway. Pass too strong though for Fuson. Fuson and Dikwa have just been swarming the top of the 18. Feels like only a matter of time before they get rewarded. Cross coming in, nobody in the picture. Flanagan the closest man to it as Harris trying to wind it up. Select, the official match ball supplier, the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
Good switch.
And a great first touch as well. Thrown in. Dikwa nods it down. Tambakis denies.
That would have been special. That would have been something special for the first goal in club history. A lovely switch. And then just pin the ears back and say, let's go for a run. And Tambakis does ever so well to not guess, to not go down low. He stays big, and because of that, when it bounces off the turf, he's able to make the reactionary save.
Brito not letting New Mexico breathe, but it's fine work by Zico Bailey to take it away. Yao rescues. Turnbull drops it right back for Brito, and Bailey knocks him down. Free kick coming.
Smart bit of play from Brito to understand that Bailey had overcommitted. So all he does is just jump in between the path of the ball and the defender and just absorbs the contact.
Ibarra and Quizera stand over the top of it. The duo exchange notes. Part of a bright future, a pair of 25-year-olds. Who will be the man that takes this? Quizera will be his left foot, or the right foot of Ibarra. It's Ibarra curling it around, headed high into the air, and Tambakis cradles and ignites the restart. Harris is offside, not by much, but puts an end to that counter opportunity. Fuson. Dequa was offside. The supporter group for Rhode Island, Defiant 1636. A passionate collective watching the Ocean State team. They'll be drumming, chanting, flag waving, all from Section 13 throughout the season, providing the atmosphere here today. Micheletto. Brito commits the foul. We're a third of the way home in this one. Still scoreless between Rhode Island and New Mexico. First match of club history for Rhode Island. New Mexico, their second match of the season. 1-0 after a 1-0 win over Pittsburgh last week. Flanagan erased. Some space here. Fuson gives chase. Maples, though, steps in, taking it away. The throw from Tambakis, a little errant. Bodies collide. Holstead takes aim! It crushes the left bar. The crowd buzzing. Brito. Quizera. If that ball would have found the rope, you talk about a highlight to begin franchise history for Rhode Island.
You can't hit a soccer ball any better than what Holstad just did. My goodness, that was some strike.
Not done yet. Dequa lays it back. Turnbull. Wants Dequa once more. Turns. Throws it in. Tambakis takes a tumble.
Warning signs from Rhode Island FC. A terrible decision from Tambakis to throw it into pressure. Then Holstad, no spin on the ball, strikes it so cleanly. Tambakis was watching it like we all were, hopeful that it would go off the post or go wide, and he got fortunate in that moment. His blushes were spared. Rhode Island FC now starting to get higher up the field when they're pressing. They're winning it in advantageous spots, and now you're starting to see the end reward of it. It's some actions in the final third that are leading to opportunities, and they look like the team right now that is on the front foot in the ascendancy and look like they could potentially get the game's first goal.
If this is the first time that you're tuning in to this match, You would have no idea that Rhode Island is an expansion group. Great atmosphere, collected in how they're playing. Really strong side at this point. Will it lead to a goal in this opening half? Or does New Mexico have something? New Mexico still sitting on just the 2 shots. They have not had one in the last 23 minutes since Flanagan had his shot blocked in the 11th minute. Gloucester. There is Flanagan, and he gives it away. Reyes. Nicoletto and Reyes, and now Bailey. He's looking for Hurst. Brito comes away with a turnover.
It is so congested in the middle of the field for both teams right now. If you're an outside back for either side, you need to try to get involved because that's where the space is. That's where the outlet can be. And right now, the team that is doing it is getting the success. Whoever's trying to play through and go forward in the middle of the park. Well, Connor Smith starting to see his side get frustrated a little bit more. When they quickly switch the field of play, that's where the width is opening up.
Excellent space, just as you mentioned. Turnbull finding real estate. His cross, though, sent right back to him by Gloucester. Yow's pass intercepted. Nicoletto, Flanagan, who's down hard. Just a throw, no foul. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to download now. Harris. Canceled out by Nodarse. Gets it back though, Nicoletto. Clips it forward, Harris waits. Stoneman turns it away. Quizera only as far as Astorga. Nicoletto. Excellent pass, Astorga leaves it for Hurst. Hurst, it's Holstead that steps up to cancel it out. Harris again, tosses it in. Vegas steps out to pick it up. Turnbull has been a catalyst here in this first half. Turnbull tucks it in looking for Brito. I think Dequo wanted that ball a little bit earlier and never got it, had to slow down his run. Now Brito back on it. He's looking for Fuson. Rhode Island has been at its most dangerous when they've played from the outside so far.
And right now, I think that there is a sort of seesaw effect right now of momentum. New Mexico, after Nicoletto plays that great little entry pass into Hertz, well, they get an opportunity, but they don't take it. Rhode Island have gotten a couple opportunities. They haven't taken it yet. So this game really is in the balance right now. It's going back and forth. I don't think it's the prettiest game of soccer we've ever seen, but that's to be expected. Club's first game, a little continuity being built as well early in the season for New Mexico, making a long trip over for today's game. And so with that, I think both teams are doing a very good job defensively, haven't given away anything, haven't had any self-inflicted turnovers that cause any real problems. But right now, it just needs somebody to step up, somebody to be special, try to do something to make themselves differentiate and grab this game by the scruff of the neck. It just really needs something like that from somebody, and both teams have those players, whether that's Dequa or Hurst.
And you mentioned it earlier about several infringements, and there is the yellow card shown to Noah Fuson. Jeremy Shear counted out 4 different ones, and it eventually leads to the first booking of the match, and the first yellow card in franchise history goes to the 24-year-old.
Fuson's put himself in and around time and time after again, and against his former teammate. It's a little bit late, and that's just an accumulation of persistent infringement that sees him goes into the book. Nothing for that in particular challenge, but for the previous 3, 4, 5, depending on if you're counting by our standards or Noah Fuson standards. He'll tell you it was maybe 1 at best. A referee will tell you it was 4 or 5.
Gloucester drops it for Hurst. Straddles the line. Flanagan goes to the right foot. Hurst waits, looking for the back post, and Harris, and sails it out. The most recent expansion franchise was Monterey Bay back in 2022. Due to construction of their stadium, they played their first 7 games away. They lost 4-2 in the opener. Expansion teams have lost 3 in a row since San Diego drew 1-1 against Las Vegas in 2020. It's today a day that marks Rhode Island's first ever win or positive result. Turnbull. Dequa wants it. Couldn't quite get it around Gloucester, who's been tested a lot in this first half. Body's tangled up. Yao comes out of there with it. And a foul given. Fuson draws this one. He wants a booking.
Fuson's a quality player, but I think at this moment in time, he's letting emotions and the back and forth with a referee get the best of him. When he puts his head down and plays, he's borderline unstoppable at times. We just haven't been able to see that yet so far. A little bit of frustration creeping in right now.
Cano Smith said that Fuson scored in pretty much every one of their preseason matches. Gloucester weaves around 3. Still has the ball on his feet. Gloucester, 1 touch too many that time.
Lovely bit of skill and deception from Gloucester as he slaloms his way through and ultimately ran out of ideas as more and more defenders started to get in his way, and maybe a little bit quicker thought process when you get into the 18. Again, a natural defender. Those moments are probably few far in between where you're on the end of a nutmeg and 2 or 3 defenders in your wake.
Dequa called for a foul.
I think that's very generous for New Mexico United.
Dequa, the reigning USL Championship Player of the Year and Golden Boot winner. 20 goals and 28 appearances a year ago for Pittsburgh. Very much a known commodity in this league. What an excellent run here. Space and time through the middle. Denied by Turnbull and cleared away. Turnbull has played a great opening 45 minutes, end to end. Now Fuson evades a defender. Who does he pick out? It's a corner.
What a play at the other end from Steven Turnbull. It should be 1-0 New Mexico. But his willingness to not give up, to just track back. Flanagan thinks he's going to tap this in. And before he realizes it, Turnbull has turned it away. A little finger wag to let him know. Not on opening day. That won't be the first goal that these fans will see. And now we go the other end, and this would change everything. They can get the proper service here from Ibarra. They can get Yao, Dikwa, Fuson, the usual suspects. Stoneman in there as well. Can they be the ones to go and get the first goal in this club's history right before halftime? We got it right, 2 inches away. We're all squared away now.
Mark Ibarra resets. Still not done. His body's getting bumped right at the top of the 6-yard box. Ibarra swings it in. Bodies colliding. Tambakis wanted a foul. Turnbull twists it in. Second shot hits the bar again. A header goes high. The second time in the first half that left bar rattles the cage, and once again, it's Holstead.
Holstad will be wondering what he has to do to buy a goal. This is a lovely strike. And then it just is inches away as the ball bounces off of the turf. It makes it so difficult to try to get up and over it to be able to head that in. Bizarra can't just get over it to head it forward or even meet the ball to be able to head it straight. Oh, it's terribly unlucky for Rhode Island FC.
4 minutes of first half stoppage. Ibarra takes the foul and gets a yellow as well. Instead has to be sitting there looking at that left bar and thinking, this is our home field. Can't you be any kinder?
Tactical foul from Ibarra. Knows he's gotten the wrong side, so pulls back the New Mexico United midfielder to be able to stop the promising attack. It's absolutely right decision to book him.
Yellow card forward to RIFC's number 23, Mark Ibarra.
Suffice it to say that Rhode Island has had the upper hand here in the first half. They have more shots, more great opportunities. 2 bars hit. No goals so far. New Mexico can reap the rewards here at the end of the first half and simmer that sizzle inside of this facility.
The fourth official has signaled for 4 minutes of extra time.
Micheletto. Nice. He had Hurst in space. Instead, it's Flanagan throwing it through. Gobbled up by Vegas. A lot of teams in this league's benefited from San Diego folding its franchise. Vegas, Stoneman here, and a lot of different great talented players for that franchise that had very loyal fan base. It was a fun team to watch for those years that they played. And you knew it would not take long for those players to get gobbled up. Vegas picked up in November. The very first player in this franchise's history. That's an excellent turn, and it's a great poke. Fuson, flag is down. Fuson, Tambakis again. Rhode Island throwing everything at the net. Tambakis denies. Son will not get to this ball. Seymour glides it away. And now Harris retreats, gives it away to Brito. Fuson just couldn't quite hold it up. Turnbull. Holstead drops it back. Waning moments of the first half. Fans waiting to leap out of their seats. Guizera curls it around. Tambakis steps up in time to grab it. On perhaps the last great chance that we'll see in this opening half as we cruise to an end of the first half. What are your thoughts here on what we've seen transpire over the opening 45 here in Rhode Island?
I think it's to be expected with the occasion. I don't think that there's been any real mistakes made by either side. Heavy collision. I think that a scoreline that's level is fair. I think Rhode Island may say we've had two long-distance efforts that hit the post, so maybe they should be the ones that have their noses in front. When you look at the expected goals, only 0.13 for New Mexico United, 0.9 for Rhode Island. So I'd listen to an argument that maybe Rhode Island is a bit unlucky to not be in the lead, but they're playing a very good New Mexico United side that have stifled their home opener and have kept these fans quiet for large portions of the match, which is exactly what you do as a away team. And for Rhode Island, a lot of encouraging signs. They're knocking at the door. Somebody just needs to kick it down and take the opportunity to grab the game's first goal.
Conno Smith wanted fans craving more after they left this match. After the opening 45, that group champing at the bit to get back out there in half number 2. A couple bars hit, but no goals so far in front of a raucous crowd and a sellout here at Burns Stadium. A historic day in USL Championship history. Rhode Island 0, New Mexico 0 at the break. Plenty to come at halftime, including a look at Amos Shapiro-Thompson and one of the young guns of this Rhode Island group. Halftime at Burns Stadium in Rhode Island.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
What does purpose look like? Whatever your purpose, we're here to help. Centerville Bank. Progress on purpose.
Hey Providence, we're Breeze Airways, and we offer non-stop flights from Rhode Island's T.F. Green International Airport. We're redefining what it means to fly up front. This one's for you. Introducing Breeze Ascent, the newest, nicest way to fly. It's seriously comfortable, satisfying, and affordable. Book today at flybreeze.com and experience the nicest way to travel. Breeze Airways, seriously nice.
Did I tell you about last weekend?
No.
We promised our youngest a real vacation next year. Honestly, I was worried about the money. I knew if that money was in our checking account, we would spend it.
So what did you do?
Centerville Bank helped me open an account just for this, because if I put the money in there on purpose, I won't touch it.
What does it look like when your bank account has purpose? Open it. Centerville Bank. Progress on purpose.
It's halftime for the first match in franchise history for Rhode Island. And one of the young players on this team to get to know is Amos Shapiro-Thompson, a native of Massachusetts, played at Boston College and with the Red Bulls too last year. Here's more on Shapiro-Thompson. We're at the break between Rhode Island and New Mexico. When we come back, we take a look around the USL Championship with news and notes, live scores, and the upcoming matchups. Stick with us.
Go get it, Doug.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
You've given us a foundation to be proud of. We build on this now. This is it now, gents. This is us from now on.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL. You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. Running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
See? It's just like real camping.
Ugh, we even have real ants. Ew.
Like I said, real camping.
When ants show up, so do we. Terminix it.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Seriously nice seat upgrade presented by Breeze Airways. Every match for lucky fans are provided a premium match day experience courtesy of Breeze Airways. Tonight's winners are Janine Kent and family. Breeze Airways, a proud partner of Rhode Island FC. News and notes from around the USL. Lamar Hunt US Open Cup starts this week. 32 matches, plenty of League One teams involved this week. April, you'll start to see some of the USL Championship teams in it. 47 overall. It's always a fun tournament. It's always an exciting time. And excited to see how things play out over the next 3 days. Starting on Tuesday, March 19th. Trevor Amon, the USL League One player, is the player of the week in the USL Championship after League One. And then a little bit of New Mexico flavor to this. Greg Hurst, who had the game winner against Pittsburgh on the team. And the coach of the week, Eric Quill, the third coach in New Mexico United's history, is the coach of the week. Scores from around the rest of the league. Lou City takes down El Paso in the earlier matchup. It is a 2-0 advantage for North Carolina, and scoreless at the break between Indy and Memphis in the 3 matches going on. There's wall-to-wall coverage all night long in the USL Championship. Here's what you can look forward to this evening. Note the programming. ESPN Plus for every match on there, with the exception of Tampa Bay and San Antonio. That'll be shown on CBS Sports Golazo Network. That's a great matchup as well. Tampa Bay, great team a year ago. San Antonio with prime talent every single year. Fun matches every week around the league in the USL Championship. As it stands right now in Rhode Island's first ever match, fans haven't left their seats. Excited to see what their team does in half number 2. Scoreless between Rhode Island and New Mexico. First half highlights, the stats, and the kick come your way when we come back.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Hey Providence, we're Breeze Airways, and we offer non-stop flights from Rhode Island's T.F. Green International Airport. We're redefining what it means to fly up front. This one's for you. Introducing Breeze Ascent, the newest, nicest way to fly. It's seriously comfortable, satisfying, and affordable. Book today at flybreeze.com and experience the nicest way to travel. Breeze Airways, seriously nice.
What does purpose look like? Whatever your purpose, we're here to help. Centerville Bank. Progress on purpose.
When you make your play and things just go your way, I won. That's a good play.
Since 1974, the Rhode Island Lottery has been a good play, awarding more than $57 billion to winning players, over $6 billion in commissions to local businesses, and over $8.8 billion to the general fund, supporting all of Rhode Island.
It's a really good play that can make your day.
The Rhode Island Lottery, a good play for Rhode Island for 50 years and counting.
This match is presented by Ortho Rhode Island as the official orthopedic partner and team physicians of RIFC. Ortho Rhode Island is proud to care for our community's athletes. Learn more at orthopedics-ri.com. Scoreless at the half here, but we were not without some highlight-worthy moments, particularly to start things off, the opening kick in Rhode Island FC history. New Mexico might have had a little bit of the upper hand in the first several minutes. Here was a great defensive play by Grant Stoneman in the 11th minute on the first shot of the day, but then it was Rhode Island starting to get some opportunities forward.
Rhode Island started to grow into the match, and exactly who you would think, Howard Dequa with the first real opportunity for Rhode Island. And then Clay Holstad with 2 efforts. This one can't hit a ball any straighter or any sweeter than that. Unfortunately for Holstad, that hits the face of the post. It goes wide, and from there, more confidence started to build for Rhode Island. They continued to sustain pressure. And this is the second of the 2. This will eventually find its way back out to Holstad. This time, tries to curl this. Well, it sort of kisses where the post and the crossbar meet. A wonderful effort. It was just inches from making it the game's first goal, and the follow-up up and over the crossbar. Not much between the 2 teams, and that's where we stand at the half.
A lot of shots, though, for Rhode Island, and 3 bars as well on top of the 2 shots on target so far, despite not having as much possession as New Mexico in that opening 45 minutes. And Cano Smith told us, he said he wants to play an aggressive, attacking style of soccer, and that's exactly what they did in the opening 45 minutes. Don't feel like there might be too many adjustments for this group after that opening 45. It's just getting some more action actually in a game situation for these players to develop that connection.
I think you're right. I don't think that either manager will be too pressed to make any changes. I think for New Mexico, it's more about getting on the ball and trying to continue to connect passes. That's when they're at their best, when they're playing 1 and 2 touch. And then for Rhode Island, you've got to take these chances because this game can turn on a dime. Like we saw New Mexico picked apart Pittsburgh expertly with a couple of passes that broke some lines last week for the game's only goal. And next thing you know, even though Pittsburgh may feel as though they deserved a little bit more, it was New Mexico that walked away with all 3 points. Rhode Island wants to avoid that at all costs today.
New Mexico will make 1 sub. Harry Swartz, the 27-year-old midfielder who played collegiately at Northeastern, is coming onto the field. Avion Flanagan is coming out, so that's the only substitute from halftime in this match. Rhode Island is trying to become the first expansion team to win a opener since 2018. 11 in a row without a win. 8 losses, 3 draws since Las Vegas beat Fresno FC 3-2. And Atlanta United beat New York Red Bulls 3-1 to open the 2018 campaigns. It will be a day to remember for these Rhode Island fans with a full 3 points in the pocket. Or will New Mexico start to find some attacking prowess? Second half underway here at Burns Stadium. Michael Watring, Jamie Watson, our entire crew. Delighted to have you on board for this one. Come in and hang out with us for this second half on this very first day of action. March 16th, 2024. First match in Rhode Island FC history.
Heads.
Coming right at us there. I trusted that you would have caught that.
I would have had you covered, buddy. I think Cano Smith of the 2 managers will be the more pleased going into half. His team has certainly looked as though they've been aggressive on the front foot. All the things that he said he wanted his team to be when we spoke to him this week. Now they just need a little bit of that quality in that final third. They possess it with Fuson and Dequa. But can you handle the occasion and the moment? And can you provide that quality when the game needs it? That's what's going to separate these 2 teams right now. Maybe a moment of brilliance from somebody on the field.
Well, it might be really early to start talking about managing players and managing situations, but this is the start of a long road stint for New Mexico. 6 of their next 7 matches are on the road. This begins a 3-match road swing for this group. So this is kind of one of those parts of the year where you can't necessarily win the championship in these next 7, but it's certainly one where you can let things maybe get a little too far away from you before the calendar even hits May. Harris played a pivotal role along this right-hand side. Micheletto. Nicoleno drops it back. So patient is this New Mexico side. Throwing this ball in. Vegas picks it up. I think the most impressive thing, at least to me, through 45 minutes, is the cohesion within this back line of Rhode Island. It's a group that really didn't play much at all in the preseason together, and you come out here against this New Mexico team that already has a match underneath their belt. Greg Hurst has had success in this league for the last several years, and they have been there to answer every single time. Here's Reyes, sends it over. Harris, too long to decide there, and Ibarra and Vegas step over and push it away.
Right on cue from what you just spoke about. Defensively, the effort has been nothing short of resilient. Stoneman had one in the first half. This is Ibarra sliding over, making a last-ditch effort that has to be made to save a goal. It's a combination, actually, of Ibarra and Vegas coming out. The two of them really, really coming in clutch in that moment where Harris just takes half a second too long. He really, really should do better from that angle and that position.
Nicoleno, his corner kick in. Finds Gloucester. Wants the right foot, trickles it in. Vegas picks it up. That would have been an all-time announcer's jinx right there had New Mexico scored in that last pass. So I can breathe a sigh of relief because that's really the first time that Rhode Island has been exposed at all during the run of play. And Harris just takes an extra second too long, allowing Ibarra and Vegas to come out and deny. Here's a pass forward, excellent slide tackle. Thwarts the effort of Dikwa.
Oh my God, this is
Quizera funnels through the middle.
It's only 4 years in the making or so, pal, just to jinx them for their first goal they concede. Only would have been a couple of thousand upset Rhode Island fans in attendance.
I would not have been invited back.
But as it stands, you're more than welcome.
And Rhode Island is unique too, because this isn't just a small little area in a big state. In the ocean state, I probably wouldn't have been invited back to this state at all.
Maybe they would have given you a pass for the Tidewater Landing Stadium opening next year that they've got in Pawtucket.
Yeah. Maybe they would have put that behind them.
There we go. Some fans making some memories.
He wants to take the throw in.
Right? It's good to see people out enjoying a new experience, one that they can get used to going to now, and they'll play this season at Burns Stadium, and stadium being built on its way. This club, the trajectory is only going one direction. Rhode Island FC, I'd buy all the stock if I could in this club. There's Cano Smith at the helm, and the hard work that's being put to get to today. I think the future is very, very bright in the Ocean State.
The USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Tambakis comes out, picks it up. Stoneman will get booked here. He'll argue that Harris went down a little too easy, but Stoneman will not win that. And it's the third Rhode Island player to go in the books.
It's absolutely a booking. It's a little up, back, and through. The ball is set for Harris, and well, it's inventive from Harris because the ball was set a little bit behind him, but he's able to stick his leg out and guide it around Stoneman. He goes the other direction. Stoneman can either let the ball or the player go by, but you can't let both. And in that moment, Harris gets the wrong side of Stoneman, so he's got to bring him down. It's a smart foul in the end and a good yellow card to take.
Stoneman spent 4 seasons in San Diego after he started with Lansing Ignite in USL League One. A native of Illinois finds his way all the way across the country from San Diego now to Rhode Island. That pass just not enough on it to find Dequa. Brito, Turnbull. Turnbull wants a foul, will not get one. It's a goal kick in the end. Gloucester and Turnbull have put together quite the battle in this one. Turnbull, last year 11 appearances with NYCFC in MLS after starring with MLS Next Pro in the years prior to that.
Hey, excuse me, bud. Thank you.
Harris plays this one off of Rhode Island player this time. It was Dequa. Really did turn into a great day here in Rhode Island with the sun shining. Brito, Fuson. Nodarsek. Out of the reach. Another goal kick coming.
What an occasion. So much hype, so much time being put into this project to make it become a reality, and these fans are the benefactors of it today.
The high press here for Rhode Island pays off. What an excellent slide tackle. Where do they go now? Fuson lets it go by. Nodarsek. Quizera sprints in. Quizera gets to the touchline, flings it high, and over everything and out.
I respect the honesty from Quizera, because there's a moment or two where a defender was late and he gets the wrong side of both Astorga and the trailing defender that comes over, and he does not go down. He stays on his feet inside the box to try to complete the cross.
This pressure off of these goal kicks, forcing New Mexico into very uncomfortable spots.
Well, the confidence from Eric Quill's side to break the pressure, now get an opportunity from it.
Hurst is making a run. The pass never came to him.
It's indicative of the player that Eric Quill was, though. Always calm, able to keep the ball under pressure inside of a phone booth. He was so good on the ball. So naturally, he'd expect his players. Also, it's a fine line between crazy and genius. Right now, teams look really, really good in that moment. They break the pressure, methodically build it up. You do it correctly 9 times out of 10. It's that one time that you got to be very cautious of and careful of that can turn it from genius to crazy.
Locke is forced to send it away. Possession given right back. Harris.
There's nobody running in behind for New Mexico at this moment in time. That's also the problem. You can do all of this to keep it, but then ultimately everybody naturally from Rhode Island is going to start to come a little bit forward. Can somebody stretch the line? Can somebody get in behind and be an outlet? And you can't stretch the line too early and go in behind the other defenders, you get called offside like that. But having said all that, it's easy to defend when it's in front of you if you're a Rhode Island defender. It's harder when you have to turn and go on a sprint after all of that possession and go for a run with the likes of Hurst and behind.
Official attendance for the opening match in Rhode Island FC history. 5,252. What a day it has been so far. Closing in on the 1 hour mark. The fans just waiting to witness the first goal. Micheletto. Wanted it back, didn't get it. And that's as much to your point. Everybody had started to go forward and they just drip it all the way back to midfield. Really not putting Rhode Island in any level of stress. Darce going against Harris. Harris turns around, stumbles. Hurst comes out for an outlet. And now Quizera. Excellent pass forward. Ibarra waits.
Good decision to switch the field. It's got to go quickly now.
That pass late. Read well by Seymour. Be a sub here for New Mexico. Second sub that they use. Sergio Rivas is going to come in. Dayon Harris is coming out. Rivas coming off of a productive 2023 campaign. Career high 7 goals in 32 appearances. Is he the man that can unlock something here for New Mexico?
New Mexico substitution.
60th minute here. Rhode Island and New Mexico still scoreless. The opening match in organization history for Rhode Island. While New Mexico looks to start the year 2-0 for just the second time in club history. And for the second time in 3 years, when they were the number 5 seed in 2022, losing in the Western quarterfinals. Enthusiasm of that first half of play, that late surge from Rhode Island, and we've yet to see an official shot here in this second half. And a foul whistled and a card given. Chris Gloucester will pick up the first booking of the day for New Mexico United.
Yeah, as Gloucester gets turned, he understands that there was a run on the outside, so he's got to commit the foul on this situation to avoid the counterattack. As Brito turns, just understands there was a run on the far side that was being made that would have been serviced and the ball would have been slipped through. So the right decision to take that professional foul and a tactical foul.
Zera is looking for Dequa. How much of Dequa's, I guess, inactivity with the ball is Rhode Island's inability to get him the ball versus New Mexico's job defensively?
Yeah, I think right now is a awkward challenge. That is a crazy looking play as that developed with Swartz, who came on at halftime. He sort of stumbled, and then as he was falling to ground, he catches the trailing leg and just looked uncomfortable. To your point a moment ago, though, about Decoy, I think in this moment in time, he's playing against 3 in the back. And so those spaces become in the wider areas, but Decoy likes to stay in between the 2 posts, right? In between, at maximum, sort of the width of the 6-yard box, which is what a center forward should do. That's where you're going to find yourself in those advanced positions to go and try to score. But I think tactically what Eric Quill's done here today is he's stifled that ability for Decoy to get space to operate in and around the box, and it's made it difficult to break down. He agrees. He's got a little wry smile there as well. And with that, that means Decoy, the most dangerous player for Rhode Island FC, hasn't had time to be able to get an effort at goal or to create some space to get a shot off. And when you look at the expected goal right now, just before half, we talked about this. New Mexico United was on .13. They're still on .13. And Rhode Island was at .93. Well, don't get too excited when I say this one. They're up to .96. All that's to say in that advanced analytic is that from those positions and the algorithm that puts it together to come up with the XG, the expected goals has not risen in a substantial amount for either side since we last spoke about it before halftime. That goes to show you that both teams have been so good defensively, they're not giving opportunities to the opponents.
Rhode Island made a change. Connor McGlynn is the first substitute used by Rhode Island in the match. He replaces Joe Brito. Off of the restart here. Yao, the intended target, unable to win it. Goes out for a goal kick. There is Connor McGlynn. Spent the last 4 years with Hartford. Will we have a goal in this one? It's about 25 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Taken away in midfield. Hunchstadt. All the way through it goes. Now back out to the corner flag. To the sideline, Rivas, the target, keeps it in play, sprints back in, hits the chest. New Mexico clamoring for a handball. No stoppage there. Seymour takes aim, and Vegas pulls it out of the sky.
Some half-hearted shouts for a handball, and ultimately an effort from 27, 28 yards out by Seymour. It's good positioning, though, to be able to collect that safely. And Mexico again on the attack. Finally getting some life into their attack. That's not a foul. It's the Holstead. Maybe it's because he's gone over the ball, but he's won it. Oh, initially the first glance, it looked as though Holstead has just gone in strongly, but it may have been the fact that his foot rolled over the ball. And that could have been where our referee, Jeremy Shearer, thinks it endangered the player's safety. And this is a good hard tackle. He steps, maybe because he goes high and it's the follow through, looks worse than it is. I think in real time, I didn't think there was much to it, but instead Holstead goes into the book.
That's 4 players for Rhode Island now in the books. Stoneman, Fuson, Holstead, and Ibarra all still on the field.
So on a day when you're not creating much offensively in the run of play, Now you get one of the best passers in the entirety of the league, Marco Micheletto, standing over this, where he can swing this in. It's a higher line being kept by Rhode Island at this moment in time. Everybody's outside the box. This is just more space for Micheletto to whip this into.
Micheletto slings it across. It bounces, the head comes in. Vegas punches, but it goes in. And New Mexico gets the opening goal in this match. Talon Maples opens the scoring in the 68th minute.
Now the visitors are hoping to spoil the party. Micheletto drops his right on top of the 6-yard box. There's too much space. Vegas does well to stop the initial effort, but Maples, unattended, unmarked, just taps it in. Good job of sticking with the play. Micheletto provided the dangerous service. And now Rhode Island up against some adversity. The visitors quiet the crowd here at Burns Stadium.
Maples scores his first goal in the USL Championship. Had 7 in the last 2 years in MLS Next Pro.
A couple of question marks are going to be, one, the decision to call the foul, and then secondly, such a high line to be able to just give more space for Micheletto, one of the best passers in the entirety of USL Championship, the ability to be able to play it in. Here's Micheletto again trying to break lines, this time with his left foot. His eyes must have been so big, thinking, are you kidding me? You're going to give me this much space to try to drop it into. Okay, and he did.
Then Nodarse did not clear that ball away. I think he might have been expecting that ball to just go out. Rivas hustled over to pick it up. It's certainly a frustrating goal to give up if you're Rhode Island on just the 7th shot of the match. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app.
Mentioned USL All Access there. Devin Kerr, Mike Watts do a tremendous job with that. That is must listen to. And if you go to YouTube, you can watch the live recording of it as well. And that is appointment watching and listening for me every week on Sirius, and then again the replay later on YouTube.
Cano Smith was the guest this week.
That was a great guest, yeah. Saw some of his personality and his ambitions as the head coach and general manager of this club.
$20 minutes to go in this match. New Mexico just getting the goal on Talon Maples' poke. Michael Watring, Jamie Watson, and our entire crew watching this one with you here today. And New Mexico, they got the 1 goal against Pittsburgh last week. They still have not conceded this season. Here is Dikwa finding space. Albert Dikwa. Tambakis denies second chance. But the flag up for offside, pulling that one back.
There's literally no...
Dikwa just trying to ride the line and get in behind. It was ever so close.
Yeah, that's the middle ground, man.
And Alex Tambakis with a wonderful save in that moment. That is a daunting task to go up against the Golden Boot winner and USL Championship Player of the Year from 2023, one-on-one. And he stood tall. Brilliant save. Blushes were spared, though, for Dikwa, as the offside flag did go up, as you alertly pointed out there, Michael.
New Mexico unbeaten in their last 6 when scoring the opening goal. The last time that they lost was to a Northeastern team. Hartford came back to win 2-1. New Mexico has not won on the road against an Eastern Conference team since May of last season, when they won at Loudoun 3-1. All of those 4 losses by 1 goal. But that's the difference now, and they're on the top side of the scoreboard. Now, a couple subs coming for Rhode Island. Gabby Alves coming in, as well as Prince Sadie. Ibarra and Nodarse are coming out.
Yeah, this guy's not.
Sadie had a fine season last year with Hartford, including the last 2 years. He had 14 goals after just 2 in his prior 35 matches in the USL Championship. Alves, who spent time in Birmingham, where Cano Smith was the first assistant, also sees the pitch. Let's see if that makes any difference for Rhode Island. Certainly shows you what Cano Smith is thinking, trying to bring a little bit more attacking presence onto the field. Think back to the first half, if you will. In that final 15 minutes, Holstead hit the left post once. Then right at the end of the half, he hit a post. And then on the second ball, Dikwa hit the crossbar. Very easily could have been 1, if not 2, for Rhode Island. Advantage played here. Micheletto flips it in. Astorga. Fuson, who's been awfully quiet in the second half.
Have not said his name nearly enough. If Rhode Island FC are going to have success, we have to be saying Noah Fuson's name more than we have. And that's more of a credit to New Mexico and how the adjustments they've made to stifle him in the attack than anything else, really.
Well, we mentioned those activities for Rhode Island. Really the only chance for New Mexico, the goal. Talon Maples scored in the 68th minute. Had an expected goals of .13 prior to that moment. And that was an easy tap in after Vegas couldn't punch it down. New Mexico to make another change. Nicky Hernandez makes his appearance. Jacobo Reyes is coming off.
Reyes had the assist on the game-winning goal last week. Quieter afternoon by his standards, but job done on the road. Did a lot of the dirty work that doesn't show up on any scoreboard, so that's a job well done. And now opportunity for Hernandez to come in and help see this out, solidify the midfield for the final 15.
Now the final quarter hour of the club's first ever match finalized. Still no shots in this second half for Rhode Island. A team that Cano Smith said that he wants to be attacking, wants to have good tempo and pace. They had it in the final quarter hour of the first half, have not been able to replicate that here in half number 2 against what has proven to be a stout New Mexico side.
It's been really impressive to see what Eric Will's side has done, the adjustments that they made, but then also implementing those. And from then, they're been the better team in the second half. They're on the road now. Can they continue to see it out, or do they go and chase a second goal? Either way, wonderful response from this side.
Perhaps looking for a second. Swartz chooses Hurst. Sent away, Sadie.
Oh, good skill.
Tripped up. Micheletto will take the foul. He'll take a card as well.
Yeah.
I think he'll gladly take that exchange.
Yeah, you can understand the frustration, but Micheletto knew what he was doing. Everybody in the building knew what he was doing. He walked over with the thumbs up to try to go and say, hey, fair dues, Sadie, you've just absolutely done half the midfield. It's a yellow card. Micheletto saying, everybody calm down, it's a yellow card. I understand what just happened. Like, Sadie has just thrown a step over and lovely bit of skill check, and he's going the other way, and Micheletto just puts a leg out Nothing to endanger the player, just to be able to put him down, and it's a seasoned pro that understands the moment.
Maybe the one thing that Rhode Island has been missing is some of that creativity that Sadie just showed. One thing for Rhode Island is this match was never going to define their year. Sir, it was nearly 5 years in the making. Sure, there's magnitude in that, and the fact that there's over 5,200 fans here. But regardless of the result today, it's just one in what will be a 7-month campaign.
That is so well said. It is all about winning in professional sports, sure, but this counts the same as every other match. It's just understanding the dynamic, and Fuson does really well to get by Bailey. They'll be lucky to stay out of the referee's book.
Wizera fires it all the way across. Turnbull has to bring it down. Yao, McGlynn. Turnbull, excellent maneuver here. McGlynn swings it back, throws it in. Dikwa! Tambakis cradles comfortably.
What a difference it makes from Sadie going 1v1, Fuson going 1v1. You're finally getting some life into the attack, and it takes some individual creativity. And from this combination of McGlynn, Turnbull on the far side as well, Dikwa is just having to pull away, so it's very difficult to generate the power needed to beat Tambakis from there.
Hefty collision. Hurst will gladly accept the ball in the end. Throw it backwards, Micheletto. Hurst once more. Rivas. Astorga. New Mexico gaining confidence with every moment. Hurst. The ball is attached to those green boots. Micheletto. Here's Hurst. What does he choose to do? Hurst shoots. Vegas pushes away. Corner kick, though.
That is some delightful football being played by New Mexico United. My goodness, is it fun to watch this Eric Quill side. Confidence to be able to play in tight spaces. Quick decision making, 1 and 2 touch. There's going to be a lot of happy fans watching back in Albuquerque and across the state of New Mexico with what they're seeing from this team.
Micheletto serves up this corner. Not hit all that well by Nicky Hernandez. He had the space. A new era of USL kicks off in April. Join us Saturday, April 6th on CBS as Louisville City FC takes on Indy 11 at 4 p.m. Eastern at Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville. Kicking off the first ever national broadcast of the USL on the CBS networks. That'll be a good one. Blue City pretty much pencil them in to the East final every single year.
I was wondering where you're going to go with that. How low you were going to East final? That's probably the lowest you would put them. Almost perennial powerhouses and always thereabouts in the conversation.
Here's Holstead. He wants another shot at net. Micheletto comes back. Accepts the ball for a moment. Sadie. Throw in coming for Rhode Island. Sadie. Nice little maneuver. Tambakis comes out. Well, the fans had to wait 4.5 years for this team to start playing. Perhaps they need to wait the full 90 minutes today to see the first goal. They were patient just to get to this point for the team to get onto the field. They've been patient in this match. And you know that these Rhode Island players want nothing more than to reward these fans with a goal. Holstead steps in, creates an opportunity. Holstead waits. Holstead finds Tambakis. Nods one down. Tambakis like a brick wall right now. Number 2 all-time in championship history, and saves, denies another.
Holstead has been terribly unlucky, and this time he puts his foot through it. That is a wonderful save from Alex Tambakis. A lot of credit must be given to the first team assistant coach, director of goalkeepers, Nate Walzer as well. He's worked with Tambakis. Tambakis has been around in USL Championship for a very long time, as you alluded to a moment ago. This is one of the most seasoned pros that understands the occasion and how to put himself in the position to be able to make the save look a lot easier than it is. That was all about doing the work prior to the ball leaving Holstad's foot, and he was in the right spot to make the save needed.
Dikwa hustles, gets run into, and he is the man that commits the foul in the end. We'll have a bit of an extra conversation with the assistant referee. Thought that he was the man impeded. From here, it'll be 2 road matches for Rhode Island. Monterey Bay, then Tampa Bay. And they return back here against the reigning Eastern Conference champs, Charleston, on April 6th. And then Pittsburgh right after that. When you look up and down the ledger of the schedule to begin the year, it is as challenging as it gets with the likes of Tampa Bay, the reigning champions, Phoenix, and then Sacramento, all before the calendar hits mid-May. Dikwa finds space on this side, but it's well read. Astorga forces Rhode Island to retreat. Vegas sends it forward. Schwartz retreats. Sadie pokes. Holstead. Here's McGlynn. Trying to get to that second ball. Deepwood denied. And Turnbull fires it away. Hasn't been the same kind of second half for Rhode Island as it was in the first, when they had 13 shots, just 1 here in the second half. Completely opposite half number 2. Fuson. Quizera. Here's a miss hit. Dikwa was charging in on it. Tambakis, though, in the right spot for New Mexico. Behind Micheletto. Turnbull, and now McGlynn.
Just wonder, is this the moment for Eric Will to go to his bench and maybe try to bring off an attack-minded player like Micheletto, who's put a good shift in? Can you bring somebody off the bench to help close it out? Start to get later on in the match, you think, as a manager, how can you affect it? It's timely substitutions, break up a little bit of momentum. Also try to get some players on that can come in and see this game out.
Hurst wins the ball away from Yao, leaves it for Schwartz. Schwartz fires it. It was always wide. Hurst, I think, wanted the ball back and would not get it here in the 87th minute. So a change here, and indeed it is Micheletto coming out, like he had a magic 8 ball there.
Just kind of got a hunch for the moment that maybe you just needed to bring on Husu to help see things through. Rhode Island they'll go the opposite route, try to make a substitution to come in and try to go and see if they can push the issue and find an equalizer with Mark Doyle coming into the fold.
Doyle replaces Quizara. Changes happening here in the 87th minute. How much stoppage time will we get in this match?
New Mexico substitution number 9 entering. Correction number 91, Nanan Hosu.
And a foul whistled. Time on the side of New Mexico. 1-0 the advantage for New Mexico. They scored in the 68th minute after a yellow card was distributed, a free kick given. We thought might have been a little bit questionable. The ball bounced through the 18-yard box. Rivas on the back post headed it over Vegas. Maples tapped it in the 68th minute, and it's been that way ever since, despite a strong first half from Rhode Island. Just one shot in the second half. And with 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go, New Mexico looking to spoil the club opener for Rhode Island. Michael Watring, Jamie Watson, our entire crew, grateful to have you on board throughout the day here at Burns Stadium, the home for 2024 for this Rhode Island group before the pristine facility will open in 2025 at Tidewater Landing. There's a foul, and it will be a booking as well. Maples will go into the books. Well, it was a foul, maybe about 15, 20 yards in, but in a similar spot that set up the goal for New Mexico.
Quick little indication from our referee, Jeremy Shearer, that there was 1, 2, 3, so persistent infringement in this moment, and that's how Maples goes into the book. And so now, with this set piece opportunity, noticeable difference. New Mexico United is about a step inside of their own 18-yard box. A little bit tighter window to try to put this in. Crowd here at Burns Stadium comes alive in anticipation. Is this the moment for the first goal in Rhode Island FC history?
McGlynn slices it into the box. It is headed. Turnbull won it. Tambakis falls on it.
That's the right idea. Go to the back post, change the angle for Turnbull to come across. He's got the forward momentum. And unfortunately, as he's trying to send that along the top of the 6-yard box, that goes right into the grateful arms of Tambakis. There's Connell Smith stretching the legs. He would have been marauding up and down the outside. If we'd have turned back the hands of time to him as a player, he was some player.
5 minutes of stoppage time and 5 more minutes for Rhode Island to try to pull one back. Dequa, just not enough on that to find Doyle initially. Fuson draws the attention of 3 New Mexico players.
The fourth official has signaled 5 minutes of extra
Here's Sadie. Has been creative in his 15 minutes or so on the field. He gets it back. It's going to be a tight angle this time. Bounces it off the defender's backside. Husu slips. And that benefits Rhode Island. Instead of Hurst getting it, it's a reset here. Holstead. Here's Fuson, whipping it across, back post! There is the moment to put in a time capsule. Rhode Island on the board. A long wait for the first match in history, and a longer wait for the first goal in club history. Mark Doyle, etch your name in Rhode Island lore. We're tied at 1.
We had to wait 4 years for the first game in Rhode Island FC history, and we had to wait more than 90 minutes for the first goal in Rhode Island FC history. Just look what it means to the fans. Just look what it means to this club. A monumental day in Rhode Island, a monumental occasion, and a monumental goal for Mark Doyle.
Doyle spent 8 years in Ireland. Had 3 straight seasons with a dozen goals with Drogheda in 2019 to 2021. Scored 59 times in Ireland. His first match on American soil, he scores. Had just come on about 6 minutes ago and just got a piece of it with the right foot to direct it in. And it feels deserving for this Rhode Island side. Now the question is, can they get something more out of this with time to go? Holstead wants to stay in.
Well, he's going to have to because Rhode Island has used all 3 substitution windows. So he can't do anything about it. He's going to have to stay on even if he wants to come off. His team would just have to play down. On a day like today, this is one of those where you just dig deep if you're Clay Holstead and you just say, that's me in about 3 minutes time to worry about right now. We've got to push through.
Off of the free kick. It'll be Stoneman taming it.
That was some ball put in by Noah Fuson. What a response.
Well, here's an opportunity. Doyle off of the giveaway. Sadie sprints. Sadie cuts it back. Sadie, Tampakis punches away the first. Not done yet. Thrown in. Doyle, Tampakis reaches and tosses away.
What a save. Are you kidding me? Tampakis is going the other way. Doyle thinks he's won it. Oh, this place has come alive. Burns Stadium, everyone is on their feet in anticipation. What could be the last kick of the game.
Fuson had the assist on the equalizer. He flies this up. McGlynn was held for a moment and skies it. Well, perhaps something that Rhode Island fans might be getting accustomed to in the abbreviated history, patience. The length that it took to get to this point, to get onto the field. The time that it took to get an equalizer. The whistle blows, and that's how match number 1 in Rhode Island's history comes to an end. A thrilling day at Burns Stadium. What looked bleak for moments, it's an Irish native, Mark Doyle, that comes in the 2nd minute of second half stoppage time to pull this team level and nearly won it minutes later. What an exciting day and a 1-1 result in match day 1 for Rhode Island. The play of the match is an easy choice here today. And we talked about it. Noah Fuson needs to have an impact role. What a service.
It was an incredible and impeccable service. Mark Doyle takes the chance to get to the far post. And what he does is he puts himself in the history books. It's a wonderful finish from Doyle in the dying embers of this match to snatch a point at home.
And now time for our Save of the Match, brought to you by Centerville Bank. And it was this moment right when it looked like New Mexico was going to get the first goal of the day. Vegas covered a lot of ground to deny.
It was the trailing run of Ibarra to come and apply some pressure, but Vegas comes out at the right time, stays big, and makes a wonderful save, or our save of the match.
Well, it was certainly a moment that had its highs and lows on day number one, but supporters of Rhode Island FC, 5,200 strong, watch this one to a 1-1 draw. We'll wrap things up from Burns Stadium when we come back.
Did I tell you about last weekend?
No.
We promised our youngest a real vacation next year. Honestly, I was worried about the money. I knew if that money was in our checking account, we would spend it.
So what did you do?
Centerville Bank helped me open an account just for this, because if I put the money in there on purpose, I won't touch it.
What does it look like when your bank account has purpose? Open an account at Centerville Bank today. Centerville Bank, progress on purpose.
When you make your play and things just go your way, that's a good play.
Since 1974, the Rhode Island Lottery has been a good play, awarding more than $57 billion to winning players, over $6 billion in commissions to local businesses, and over $8.8 billion to the general fund, supporting all of Rhode Island.
It's a really good play that can make your day.
The Rhode Island Lottery, a good play for Rhode Island for 50 years and counting.
Hey Providence, we're Breeze Airways, and we offer non-stop flights from Rhode Island's T.F. Green International Airport. We're redefining what it means to fly up front. This one's for you. Introducing Breeze Ascent, the newest, nicest way to fly. It's seriously comfortable, satisfying, and affordable. Book today at flybreeze.com and experience the nicest way to travel. Breeze Airways, seriously nice.
Today's final score brought to you by High Bar Physical Therapy. New Mexico won, Rhode Island won, but an exciting finish to this one. Michael Watring, Jamie Watson wrapping things up on match day one in club history for Rhode Island in front of 5,200 strong in this one. As we take a look back at the highlights in this match, the whistle blew and we finally got into activities of this matchup, and opportunities came for Rhode Island in that first half in the final 15 minutes. Clay Holstad hit the post twice. Dequa hit the crossbar, but New Mexico in the second half was the stronger side for much of half number two.
Well, truth be told, New Mexico will feel very hard done that they only leave Rhode Island with 1 point. They were fantastic on the afternoon, but as the second half wore on, New Mexico looked like they were going to be the team most likely to get the game's first goal. It took a special save from Vegas to come out and close down and to keep this match level. And then the tide started to turn after a foul was called on Holstad. He was booked. There was questions around it. A high line sees Micheletto have plenty of space to try to serve it in. And it was Rivas playing across to Maples who gets the tap in, 2 yards out. Easiest goal he will score, stays with the play. A wonderful finish, and it all sets up from there for Rhode Island FC to create a bit of history of their own.
Noah Fuson, quiet for much of the second half, flung one in, and in his 5th minute on the pitch from Ireland, Mark Doyle makes history, putting that one in.
Connor Smith asked him to come in, make an impact, and Mark Doyle did just that. Fuson quiet for much of the second half, impactful when he needed it to, and to the corner they go with over 5,252 strong in attendance to get the first point and the first goal in Rhode Island FC history.
Just a couple shots for Rhode Island in the second half, but they capitalized on their opportunity and scored. Your thoughts from this one?
I think that Rhode Island will be happy with the way that it goes. It's not a win on the scoreboard, but it's a win everywhere around for this club. The future is bright for Rhode Island FC.
Rhode Island snaps a 3-match losing streak by expansion teams, taking a point on match day one in its history. A 90+2 equalizer from Mark Doyle makes it 1-1 on day number one, and the history books have begun for Rhode Island. Page one of what should be a long, exciting chapter. For our entire crew and my partner, Jamie Watson, I'm Michael Watring, signing off. Thanks so much for watching. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.